Good morning. Happy Saturday. I have decided to do a grocery haul like a fancy YouTuber. So I am gonna go to Whole Foods. I'm not gonna record in there because I think that's weird, but I will see you guys when I get back. Bye. Back. So I just got back from the grocery store and do you ever go to the grocery store and you're like, okay, no big deal? I don't know what it is, but like grocery shopping is incredibly stressful for me. Like, even though I know exactly what I'm going there for, I don't know. I think it's the whole being in public thing, and like, there's so much like, I don't know. Is divide the right word? It might be. It might be divide. Oh, look at how really cute my hair looks right now. Ooh. Anyway, so I think part of the reason why I find it stressful is that I'm never sure like what the mask rule is, and so I always take it with me because where I live, we don't have an indoor mask rule like or mandate, but some cities and villages around me do. And so I'm always like, "Oh my god, like, is there going to be a mask rules or not? Like, am I prepared for this?" And you would think after like 18 months of this that it wouldn't be a big deal. But anyway, so had my mask ready, read all the signs on the door, does not require one, but it happened to be a store where everyone was wearing one. So I did feel a little bit weird going in without it, but then once I was in the store, like I saw that there were other people who also didn't have it because like I'm not trying to, it's not a statement, right? But I'm also like, I'm not trying to make other people feel uncomfortable. So like, that's kind of how I feel about that. I think that's my whole issue, right? Oh, sorry. Drinking a Fide. And I just realized how like boxy this t-shirt is, guys. Like, it feels kind of weird. And I think it's also like my camera angle is a little bit strange. But anyway, so I wanted to show you what I got at the grocery store today. And then share a little bit about what I'm going to be doing for the next 6 weeks, just for fun. Not that it's that interesting. But a friend of mine trains at the location that used to house my old box or our old box. That location has since been sold to another person, and he has opened up his own box, and he does periodically throughout the year, like 6 and 8 week like nutritional challenges, if you want to call them that. And she has done it, I think twice, once for sure, maybe twice. She's done it this year, and so I asked her. I said, I think I'd really like to join you this time, just because it's around the holidays, and this can be a very stressful time, especially if you are anything like me, where you maybe have a history or you currently have some issues with food and like your relationship with food, if you will. And sometimes even if you don't have issues with food, like the holidays can become very, very stressful, because if you include Halloween in the and speaking of Halloween, this is all left over from Halloween. I did pawn a lot of it off of my brother, which is really nice. Before he left, I put together like a little care package for him, and I was like, "Here, please take these 3 pounds of Halloween candy." Thankfully, though, I will say I'm not flexing, but thankfully I'm not a sweets person. So like, this doesn't bother me having it in the house. Like, I can have a little fun size M&M or something once every 3 days and be completely fine with that. So I'm gonna try to unload that though on my nephew at Thanksgiving. His parents are gonna love me. Anyway, so if you include Halloween in the holidays, especially in the United States, right? So Canada, you guys celebrate your Thanksgiving earlier than we do. Yours is October, ours is November. So from Halloween through New Year's, it's basically like a feeding frenzy, right? And there are so many parties and like get-togethers, and especially I think this year probably more than last year, because we were still kind of feeling out the COVID situation. This year, I think we're a little bit more confident in where we are, in terms of, COVID shots and whatever. And hi, Kitty. Kitty's going to join us. And so it's, I think this year is going to be a little bit busier for most people, and more parties and different things than last year. And so it can get to be a lot. Like, you can wake up in January, like on the 3rd of January, and you're like, shit, my pants don't fit, because this holiday season gets so drawn out, right? And especially the month between Thanksgiving and Christmas, like, oh my God, like Thanksgiving is such a huge, like celebration. And I know that there's like, not controversy, that's not the right word, but I know that there are concerns around, the historical aspects of Thanksgiving. And so I don't want to talk about any of that just because I'm not qualified to talk about it. Like, I have my own thoughts and opinions, and I'm sure you guys do too, but really just more about being with family and being thankful and grateful for where we are and what we have, than, necessarily, I don't know. You guys know what I'm getting at. So, doesn't mean that those things didn't happen and that they shouldn't be talked about, and they shouldn't be recognized, because they should. But that also doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your family, right? And have food and stuff like that. So anyway, so those are two big, like, stacked holidays together, because Americans, we are very good at going big or going home. And I've had European friends tell me that our Thanksgiving is effectively like, we get 2 Christmas dinners, just one doesn't have presents. That's basically what it is. So, so this time of the year could be a little bit crazy and just full of celebration, and which is wonderful, and food and all that. And it's very easy to get off track. At least it is for me. I'm very black and white. I'm either eating none of the food or I'm eating all of the food, which is why I have continued to track my macros and meals and things like that for as long as I have, because I was telling a friend the other day, I was like, I am not trustworthy. Like, if you were to leave me to my own devices, it's very easy for me to go off the rails, right? Because I enjoy food, I enjoy good food, and even the stuff I eat that's very healthy, like, you can overdo that, right? It's easy to kind of lose control sometimes. So anyway, so back to my point, I am going to do a 6-week nutrition, challenge, if you will. Although the challenges within the nutrition group are optional. Like, you do not have to participate in do 100 burpees today, or walk 5 miles, or do whatever. Like, you can really just get out of it whatever you want to get out of it. And one of the things that I am trying to get out of this, or I'd like to get out of it, is one, maintaining my performance in the gym. I have been PRing the shit out of so many things in the last month. Like, I would like that to continue. But one of the things that also has been happening is that I'm getting to my Metcon, right? So in CrossFit generally, sometimes we flip it. You do all of your strength training first, and then you condition, right? Because you don't want to waste your energy on your conditioning when you're trying to get stronger, right? So that's why you train, you lift first, and then you do cardio. Some people do it the other way. I'm not in that camp of, I would prefer not to condition first, because I want to have all of my energy for my lifting, right? Okay, awesome. I just realized that you guys can see that lonely red cup sitting back there on the corner of my sink. The last week or so, I think the last week, maybe the last 2 weeks it's happened, I've gone through my lifting, really successful lifting sessions, and then we get to the Metcon, and I have gotten, what I refer to as like the shakes, right? So like a lower blood sugar potentially, or just lack of glycogen. It's not fatigue. Like, this is a very different feeling. And so it's uncomfortable. I've been able to push through it, but I was speaking to the person who's leading this challenge with us, who is also a friend of mine, who is a CrossFit coach, like myself. And I'm just like, something's not right. And I don't know if it's meal timing. I don't know if it's what I'm eating. I don't think it's a calorie issue. Like, I definitely feel very fueled. But for some reason lately, we're getting to that Metcon and everything's just like kind of bottoming out, right? And it's happened a few times. So I want to use this.
Could you say that again?
No.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you...
Sorry. Anyway, so I'm kind of bottoming out, and I would like to figure out why, right? And I think it could have to do with, more so I think maybe meal timing, and the calories that I'm eating pre-workout that maybe just aren't quite enough for what we're doing right now today. So that's part of it. Obviously some fat loss, right? And then just some consistency through Thanksgiving, and this will lead us right up to just before Christmas. So really excited. Anyway, so I wanted to show you what I got at the grocery store today. So I went to Whole Foods. So don't at me. Okay, don't at me. It's the closest grocery store to my house, and they have what I need. And that's where I'm going. So I want to talk about that though, because I don't want you to be like, oh, you privileged snot, like you're going to Whole Foods. I get it. I get that there's a stereotype around that. Totally get it. But for someone like me who is single, there's some advantages of Whole Foods in places like Trader Joe's. They do sell things in slightly smaller packaged quantities, right? So I'm not shopping for a family of 5. I usually shop for 3 to 5, maybe a week of groceries at a time. That just allows me a little bit more flexibility to kind of feel out what I want each day or every couple of days. So I still do meal prep, but I certainly do not meal prep the way I used to, which is I would meal prep for like 10 days, worth of food. And well, by day 4, I'm like, God, I really don't want to eat turkey anymore. So I kind of stopped doing that because I was wasting. So if you have opinions about Whole Foods, that's totally fine. You can have them. But yeah, anyway, so went to Whole Foods, got some stuff. So I'm going to start here. This broccoli in a bag. Okay. You steam it right in the microwave. I love it. It's convenient. It's easy during the day. I get up from my chair at work, come over to the microwave, throw it in. 4 minutes later, cooked broccoli. It's delicious. It's healthy. It's wonderful. It's easy. All of the things, right? So I'm a big fan of those things. And I know like some people be like, oh, why not just buy a head of broccoli? That doesn't work for me. And if that works for you, that's freaking amazing, right? If it doesn't though, there's nothing wrong with buying prepackaged stuff. Absolutely nothing wrong. Pre-cut, whatever. Is it a little bit more expensive? Probably in the long run, right? Just depends on how much you eat, right? So that's what I do. You don't have to do that. The other thing about Whole Foods is that, most of their stuff there is organic, right? And I use that in air quotes, even though I probably don't need to do that. But anyway, so there's nothing wrong with conventionally grown produce or meat or whatever. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no difference like in their nutritional value. Like there's none of that, right? Like that's not a thing. Okay. So don't let anybody convince you that if you don't eat organic things that there's something wrong with you or you're doing something bad or whatever, because there's not at all. So I have a mixture of some stuff is organic, some's not. Why? Just what's available, right? And that's what's really great about like most grocery stores. They have some organic stuff to satisfy the folks who want that. Then they have conventionally grown to satisfy those folks. Co-ops are wonderful for that. They have locally grown stuff that's either organic or conventional. They have stuff they bring in, all different kinds of options, to whatever it is that, hi kitty, you're okay. You're okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. So you don't have to eat organic. I generally don't. Like most of my stuff is conventionally grown. It's just, it's okay. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over that. Okay. A couple other things that I got. Some salad kits like this. I got shaved Brussels sprouts. Again, easy for me to just throw it in the Ninja or throw it in a pan on the stove, maybe a little olive oil, cook it up. You're done. I don't have to spend time chopping. I don't have to spend time messing around with it. I don't got to do anything. Love that. Love that. Lettuce for salad. I also have some baby spinach down there. Got a couple of green peppers. I'm going to make some stuffed peppers. I'm super excited about that. I might film that actually. That might be a pretty good idea. Cucumbers. Why? Because they're delicious. Easy to eat. Cut them up. Takes 2 seconds. Not super high calorie, not super high carb. If you're watching calories and carbs, awesome option for you. One of my absolute favorite types of squash. This is a butternut squash. It is glorious. I also have a buttercup squash on the counter in there that a friend of mine picked up for me at the farmer's market. Buttercup squashes are almost exactly like acorns, only they don't have a pointy end. So the acorn shape, they're smushed in. So they're like flat. They're like this is what they look like. So anyway, got one of those in the kitchen. Then we have some ground turkey, which was on sale, which is amazing because it has been so expensive lately, like $10 for turkey. This was like $5, I think. So super excited about that because I haven't been buying a lot of meat lately because it's been super expensive. And I know what you're saying. You're like, Karen, you shop at Whole Foods and you're concerned about $10 a pound for turkey. Yes, because when you eat 4 pounds of it a week, that's a shit ton of money. Kitty, you're fine, buddy. You're fine. It's okay. Mom was just vlogging. It's okay. It's okay. I'm like Shakara transformations and her dogs show up in all of her vlogs, which by the way is wonderful. All right, some fruit. I have 3 packs of strawberries. Love strawberries. I have blueberries. No, raspberries. Also on sale today, which is really awesome. Fruit is just about out of season here in the Midwest. So I'm trying to capitalize on that as much as I can, because once it goes out of season and we start to like ship it in from, you know, California, Mexico, Central America, whatever, like it just loses its flavor. It's not as good. So totally taking advantage of that. Generally what I do with strawberries is I cut them all up. I put them in like a Pyrex bowl or whatever, shove them in the fridge, and then I just take out whatever portion I want, throw it in my yogurt. You know, that's generally how I eat it, is in yogurt. Sometimes I'll eat them just alone, which is good too. Avocados, also on sale. God, I like hit the jackpot today. Like, avocados are very expensive too, generally. So I was happy to see that. Sweet potatoes, look at the size of this MFR. Look at it. It's like half the size of my head. I'm super excited about this one too. This one's a little long and skinny, but have not had potatoes in a long time. Me and potatoes kind of go back and forth in our relationship with each other. Sometimes I'm really into them, sometimes I'm not. I have not been into them lately. I'm also not really into rice right now. Like, I don't know what it is, because I do love carbs. If you guys have followed me along, you know that. I love carbs. I love rice. I love starchy carbs. I love potatoes, but neither one of them have actually been doing it for me lately. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Okay. All right. Some ricotta cheese. Ooh, it's upside down. There you go. This is one of my favorite brands. You can buy any brand that you want. This is a whole milk, which just means they have more fat in it, right? But part skim is also very good. I am not making lasagna, but I do use ricotta cheese in substitute for butter sometimes, like on bagels. It's really good. Little ricotta cheese, a little bit of honey, some berries. It's excellent. Or a substitute for cream cheese too. It works out pretty good. It's also really good in salads. Like goat cheese is also really good in salads. I actually have some goat cheese in the fridge that I should probably use up. But yeah, just a couple of things, couple of ideas to throw out to you. Yogurt. I eat like 5 gallons of yogurt a week, probably. Like I eat a lot. I eat a lot of yogurt. So it's good protein. Plain Greek yogurt also is generally pretty low carb. Watch labels though, if that's what you're doing, because sometimes you're like, oh yeah, this should be fine. And you look at it and there's just all these added sugars and all these other things that are in it. They do have to add sugar to yogurt to make yogurt. But there are some that just don't add as much that work, you know, it's pretty good. Works out pretty well. I did pick up one of these. This is Ziggy's, which is like an Icelandic yogurt. Those are pretty good. They're fuller fat yogurt. I do enjoy them. They're good snacks though. They have a really nice macro balance in them. So the fat, carbs, and proteins are all pretty, you know, are really well balanced. So I do like that. That's not, and these are new. This is from Ziggy's as well. I just wanted to try these. This is a 4-pack. It's a lower carb yogurt. So it doesn't have added sugar in it, and it has 2 grams of sugar and 4 grams of carbs. I'm going to try it. I'll let you guys know if it tastes like shit, because sometimes it tastes like shit. Some chicken broth just to do some cooking in. Don't know yet what I'm going to make with that, but I also sometimes will make quinoa and use that instead of water, just to give a little bit more flavor. Another squash. I think this is called, what is this? This is the delicatessen squash. My mom would be embarrassed that I don't really know the name of this. She's a big gardener, so she'd be super embarrassed if she saw this. I picked up some peanut butter. Peanut butter and I have a love-hate relationship. I can either leave it alone and not think about it and be very, like, I would say, controlled when I eat it, or I will be standing in the kitchen at 2 a.m. Like a panda or a raccoon, and I will be eating an entire jar with a spoon. So I am trying to not be afraid to keep that food in my house or other foods in my house that I generally sometimes tend to overeat on, right? Or have issues with controlling my portion sizes or whatever. I'm trying to get better at that, and bring that stuff into the house and just be like, hey, everything's fine. You can totally have peanut butter in the house and not, you know, go completely off the rails and eat the whole jar in 20 minutes. Like, so working on that. And then almond milk, because I enjoy it. I use it in my coffee, cereal, wherever it's needed. I don't generally bake with almond milk. It does not work the same way as regular milk. at least in my opinion. So I always do have, or when I know I'm going to bake something, I do go grab like a little, like, I don't know what they call it, half quarts or something, like little tiny jugs of milk from the grocery store, and I bring it home. So anyway, that is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed my little food haul. But part of the 6-week challenge, let's go back there real quick and then I will stop talking. Part of this is you're not supposed to count macros. You are following more of what I think people traditionally think of as like the zone diet, which is really where CrossFit kind of started, right? Really OG CrossFit style of eating where you are putting together a protein, a carb, and a fat at every meal. There's like boxes, or you could call them like points if you wanted to. And so you get so many points throughout the day, which I know is kind of associated with Weight Watchers or WW, but it's a little bit different, right? Because it's not pushing you into like a low fat or low carb or, high protein. The macro balances are pretty well split across the way. So it depends on your lean muscle mass and your body weight and all of that. And so like for me, I get 17 points a day, which is I think around 1,800 calories, which might seem like a lot, but comparative to how much I train, right, and the fact that I've been eating about that lately and my weight is consistently dropping week over week, right, granted, I don't have that much to lose, right, so you're not going to see like a 5-pound week, a week loss, right, or I'm not going to lose 30 pounds in a month. Like that's not going to happen for me as much as I really wish it would. That'd be amazing. But about 1 pound to 2 pounds a week right now is where I've been trending. And so, that shouldn't impact that at all. But if it does, at least I have like the tools, and the person who is running this challenge knows what they're doing. So I can go to him and be like, hey, this is not working. Can we try something else? Like, but again, one of my goals, aside from some, just maintaining, maybe achieving some fat loss in the next 6 weeks, is actually to kind of fix the, I think it's like a hypoglycemic thing. I think is what's happening. Like, I think it's something with whatever I'm eating right before I train is just not holding on long enough for me to get through, which is not a bad thing. It just means my body's working really efficiently. It's like, okay, we're going to burn all these calories. We're going to burn all this sugar, all this glycogen off, and oh, by the way, you're not going to have enough left in the tank to do your workout. So we're going to try to fix that. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week and a fantastic weekend. And if you have any questions about what I eat, you can go ahead and stick those down below. I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah. So this was fun. Thanks for coming along on the ride with me, or for the ride. It's for the ride, isn't it? For the ride. Coming along for the ride. And I will see you guys in my next vlog. Have a great day. Bye.